Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides, and I am at the DuPont Cars and Coffee event. It's this wonderful monthly event here in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I found probably one of my favorite BMWs of recent history, this BMW M2 finished in that Laguna blue. If you don't know much about BMW, in the 1980s and 90s, they really were building these cars that almost seemed like they were neurologically connected to you. And what you did with your thoughts, the car would automatically do. It was that intuitive. They kind of moved away from that. And then they started to come back because they knew that's what the enthusiasts and the fans want and owners wanted in their BMWs. So this M2 is a 2 Series that is pumped full of that wonderfulness coming out of Germany to get it to perform like no other. So underneath that hood is going to be a straight six. It's going to be turbocharged, one single turbo. Now, one thing I want to point out is BMW has been doing some smart marketing, I think, in a bad way. They call their turbocharged engines twin power turbos. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people getting confused thinking that they're twin turbocharged. They are not twin turbocharged, they're single turbochargers. So you're putting out well over 350 horsepower in a wonderful package, 0 to 60 in about 4 seconds. And this is a thing that really brought back that connectivity to the driver. So let's check out this M2. Like I said, the Laguna Seca Blue, I love it. I love Laguna Seca, wonderful track out of California. Look at these really nice BMW M wheels. And you can see it's nothing but the business here when it comes to cross-drilled rotors. These things are huge, wonderful shaped aluminum hats. I don't know if Tom could show you the hat on the rotor here. That's going to be that part there. It's aluminum. Aluminum is going to be lighter than steel. This is all rotating mass. So that's what's going to make the front end of this car steel a lot quicker. 19-inch wheel. So when we say 19 inches, we're talking about the diameter of the wheel. Very nicely finished. I like the black with the brushed aluminum. Very good look. Now here's another thing that is that BMW specific are these side vents. So the M2, this is a 2 Series. Lower the number, smaller the car. It goes all the way up to 7 Series. Now they're coming out with an 8 Series. So one thing I would like to see, though, is I would like to see this be functional. This is like a stuck-on vent. I'm not really digging it. Before we move to the back, let me show the front real quick, because this has always been that signature BMW. So since the start, one thing that they're known for are the kidney-shaped grills. What I like about this one is that he optioned it with the black kidney-shaped grills, because normally these would be silver. Gives it just a very menacing look. I like the M2 badge, and if you're into badges, whenever you buy an M car, I don't care if it's an M2, M3, M4, they put plenty of them all over the place. There's that traditional BMW logo, and if you ever wondered, well, why is it blue and white? That's to be after the Bavarian flag, because remember, this is a German car, Bavaria. That's where it's showing that connection. I like the simplicity in the hood with the way that the lines are bulged in, gives it an aggressive look. You know, technology has really done a lot for us with headlights. It really lights up the road very well. But what I like is because they're LEDs, these housings are getting smaller and smaller, which makes it more aggressive when it comes to the actual light cluster. You can see the traditional BMW halo lights around the actual headlight. And then I love the massive air intakes here. I really like what they've done where they have air being directed through this side, and then you have the air coming up through the center. It's not about having all this splitters and all this other stuff down here. It's all built into the front bumper and gives it a very, very nice clean look. Let's go ahead and continue down the side here. This owner opted for the carbon fiber on the side mirrors. Very nice and cleanly done. I like the way they integrated the turn signal. I'm going to have Tom show you inside the car because this is one of my favorite things. I really like what BMW does with their interior. Wonderful seats. I've sat in these seats before. They're nicely bolstered, but not too aggressively bolstered. I like the carbon fiber on the center console. There's BMW's traditional rotary dial to get through the infotainment system. Infotainment systems have become a big issue with some cars today because they're so complicated. The ones in these BMWs are such a pleasure to use. Only thing that I would like to see personally is a traditional manual, the 6-speed manual transmission, but that is a wonderful 8-speed automatic. I just drove one the other day, not an M2, but in a very closely similar car, and it's a very quick shifting. The steering wheel very done, tons of M badging. You can see this being a 2-door, it's very tidy. That's what I like about it. It's not a very large car. It's very small, very tidy. I love the flared fender that's coming out in the rear, and then my next part out the back is probably one of my favorites. I really like what BMW does with a simple, just lip spoiler on the trunk, and then you have the quad exhaust and the diffuser down here. Nothing too aggressive, nothing too obnoxious. It's nothing but business end, and it really shows that this car is light and nimble, and that's what everybody's talking about with these M2s, is how it harks back to those original BMW M3s, especially of the 90s. Wonderful cars, and they're getting back to that. So if you like to see cars like this on Raity's Rides, leave a comment in that comment section. If you have not hit subscribe yet, what are you waiting for? Hit subscribe. I have a nice variety of a ton of different cars for you, daily loaded. Every single day I'm putting up at least one video. So make sure you hit subscribe. If you haven't checked out my website, raitiesrides.com, my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages, all Raity's Rides original content all the time. Want to give a big shout out to Tom, my cameraman. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.